Alright, so the first time I smoked pot, I was in 6th grade. Now, I know you're thinking, man, 6th grade is pretty young to be smoking weed. And actually, I don't even remember how old I was. Let's see. I know it sounds kind of young, but holy crap. Okay, maybe I was pretty young. But let me explain how this happened. Okay, so me and my family moved to Georgia, and I was the new kid at school. Now, I wasn't new to being the new kid. I switched schools so many times that you probably wouldn't even believe the number. And I actually got pretty good at it. Just kind of stuck to myself, you know? I always hung out with older people my whole life, so I didn't really talk to too many people in my grade. I mean, dude, this was me in 6th grade. God. You know, edgy 6th grade skater boy going through his goth phase didn't really help in my approachability either. But over the next couple weeks, I noticed this kid in a bunch of my classes that was pretty similar to me. Wore all black, didn't really talk to anyone, and he seemed pretty cool. Well, one day, I wore this dope Marilyn Manson shirt to school. I told you, edgy. And I guess it was cool enough for him to say something to me about it. 'Cause after that single interaction, we became friends. His name was Brandon, and he was the tall, cool, goth dude that a lot of kids were kind of afraid of in a way. So being friends with him kind of made me cool. Well, one day he invites me to come stay the night at his house. He said he had four-wheelers and dirt bikes with a ton of land we could ride around on. And, of course, being a 6th grade boy, I was like, okay, dope. Long story short, we spent the day riding around and playing video games and crap like that. Then, towards the end of the day, he said his two older brothers were coming over. Now, I heard him mention his brothers many times, and it seemed like he really looked up to them and thought they were super cool. So, because of that, I thought they were super cool. Well, me and Brandon were in his room playing ATV Off-Road Fury, blaring, on repeat, the one Slipknot song on the soundtrack. Edgy, remember? And that's when his two older brothers came in. I remember they sat down and Brandon introduced me and all that. Then his oldest brother pulled out this plastic bag with what looked like seasoning in it. And he asked, "You smoke?" Now, I don't really give in to peer pressure like that, and they weren't pressuring me to say yes or anything. He was literally just asking a question. But being over at my cool friend's house, with his even cooler older bros, just made me feel kind of pressured, you know? All three of them were looking at me waiting for my response, and I said casually, "Yeah." Looking back on it now, I know I probably seemed kind of mature, but what average 6th grader is just chiefing down Dutches? After that, we all went down to their basement, where his brother reached behind the couch and pulled out this pretty big plastic bong. So they pack the bong and they're hitting it, passing it down the line, and as it gets closer to me, in my head, I started panicking slightly, like I was about to try crack or something. But at that age, I had zero experience with smoking or drugs in general. So I tried to play it off, and as I grabbed the bong, his bro said, "Okay, here, I'll light it for you." So I go to hit it, just copying what they did, but as I hit it, my inexperience was pretty obvious because I didn't inhale at all. Also, I didn't pull out the slide piece either. So they began laughing, and I was like, "Oh God, what did I do wrong?" It was clear to everyone at this point that I've never smoked before. And his brother said, "Okay, try it again, and I'll pull the slide. When I do, breathe in really hard." So I did. And God damn, boy. I coughed for like 10 minutes straight. They started laughing again as I continued dying, and that was the only time I hit it. I wasn't trying to go through that embarrassment again. Plus, by the time it got back to me, my throat was still on fire. Now, I've heard people say that they didn't get high the first time they smoked, but that was not the case for me. because they put a movie on and continued smoking, and I was in my head a lot at this point. I was like, is it working? Am I high? How will I know it's working? And knowing what I know now, at that point, I was gone. I mean, I thought I'd start tripping balls and be able to hear colors and see sounds or something. But no, none of that happens. Instead, it's like everything's loud, but not literally. Like thoughts on thoughts, and anxiety, and pressure, and happy, hungry, thirsty, sleepy, warm, all at the same time. And you can feel it in your eyes, and they come in waves. But it's all internal because outside it's like,
Yo, bro. Pass me Billy Bong Thornton, bro.
So I went to the bathroom because I felt like my bladder was going to explode. I go pee, and as I'm washing my hands, I look up into the mirror, and dude, my eyes were so freaking red. I sat in front of that mirror like it was the first time seeing my own reflection. I was like, so this is how people see me, huh? It felt like for half an hour, I was just looking at my eyes and my face. Then I was like, oh crap, I gotta get back out there. I went back out to where we were watching the movie and sat down. Someone, I don't even know who, passed me some popcorn. For all I know, it just spawned in front of me. It's like it appeared there from the darkness beyond the TV light. Now, I have to mention, we were watching The Longest Yard. You know, that old Adam Sandler movie. And dude, I thought that was the funniest freaking movie ever. And as I'm laughing at this movie, sitting about 3 feet away from the TV in this dark basement, I eat a handful of magically appearing popcorn. And my God, it was the best popcorn I'd ever tasted. It was as if the snack gods gifted me the perfect snack for that moment. I remember I could distinctly smell and taste the butter and then the salt as I chewed on these little crunchy clouds. And it was like eating popcorn for the first time. It was an experience. So the night goes on, me dying laughing at a mildly funny movie, shoveling Walmart brand popcorn into my face, and that was that. I don't even remember going to sleep, understandably, but I can imagine what it looked like. And that was the first time I ever smoked pot. Now, I want to say I didn't make this video to encourage anyone to go smoke some fat doinks or anything. Honestly, I'm lucky I had people around that somewhat looked out for me in a safe place. You never know what people will pass you and tell you it's weed. Trust me, I've got stories about that too. So, if you're ever in a similar situation, first of all, don't feel pressured into doing anything you're not 100% comfortable doing. I know I probably sound old saying that, but I've noticed throughout life that the people that get pressured into doing something usually end up being the butt of the joke for everyone else. Kind of like me in this story. And last, just be careful out there in the world. It's sadly a lot more dangerous today when it comes to experimenting, if you know what I mean. So just, if you're at a party or something, always have a couple of good friends with you, just to be safe. But, okay, hope you enjoyed that embarrassing story, and hopefully you can take something of value from it. Alright, be safe out there everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, later.